I moved to Spain 2 years ago, and every now and then I think maybe I made a mistake. The last 10 to 11 days have had me in a chokehold. The news has been overwhelming, and I've been dealing with that feeling that I used to have when I worked at Tesla. And since burnout doesn't care about your passport, I've been taking better care of myself. Rather than escaping the news, it's important to create my own comfort. And that's where these things I miss come in. You won't believe what I miss most about the US. Watch till the end to find out. Also, at the end, I have some news about this channel. I didn't realize I missed these things until now because while the US is in a meltdown, I'm over here looking at my bed realizing I miss my California king because sometimes you just want a little therapeutic laziness. I mean, I consider bed rot to be the new luxury, that along with couch rot. A big misconception about living in Spain is that the homes are mostly rustic and historic. Yes, you'll see a lot of casonas here. Those are stone homes, but many homes are really sleek and contemporary, but not mine. I bought a casona. We did a lot of renovations before moving in, but I thought I was cute when I didn't put in some good old American conveniences. When I renovated the kitchen, I was too impatient to wait for the garbage disposal to come in. They're not so typical here, at least the area that I'm in, and they're much more expensive than I was used to. So I thought, why do I need to grind food in the sink? Now I know. Sometimes you just need to get out a little frustration. And if throwing a few food scraps in the sink and imagining there's someone while they're being ground into nothing makes you feel good, then get your rocks off. You have to let out the frustration in some way, preferably in a way that doesn't impact someone around you. Their cortisol levels are probably just as high as yours. You'll probably think I'm silly when I say this. Something else I took for granted in Florida are screened windows. In Florida, there are mosquitoes everywhere. Sometimes they felt like an all year round nuisance. Here, it's the flies. They stress me out. They're super annoying. And when there's more than one of them in a room, they seem to gather in the middle and fly in circles. It's weird. Maybe I'm imagining that, but that's how it seems to be to me. When we renovated the house, we replaced all the windows because they were rotten and they couldn't be restored. It was a pain to find windows with screens. Thankfully, we were able to find windows with integrated screens. They're actually really cool because the screen actually rolls down and can roll up if we ever decide to get around to cleaning our windows. It feels like everywhere you go, specifically when it's warm, there are flies. Like I said, they stress me out. I don't want them on me. I don't want them on my food. Avoiding things like this that on the surface seem meaningless helps me with my bandwidth. It allows me to be better able to handle any negativity coming my way. Something that I have in Spain that I wish I had in the US are persianas. These are shades that are integrated into the windows, and at night you roll them down for privacy and for insulation. In the morning, you don't have to worry about the sun harassing you awake. In the summer, the sun around here starts coming up at about 5:30 a.m. and these persianas, they come in clutch. When you have your persianas down, kind of feels like you're in a womb. It would have been such a treat in Florida to have them, especially if they were hurricane category 5 winds proof. It would be so simple to prepare for a storm instead of spending hours getting out these massive shutters to cover your window. We did have one window that had a roll down shutter, but it was still a challenge getting that down. It was a pain to use. The thing I like most about persianas is that they help me rest. Like if you close them fully, they block out all of the light. Even though I don't have a California king because the rooms here are too small to fit that much of a bed, I sleep deeply, even with all this news that's happening. I hope that you're taking the time to make sure that you're getting proper rest too. I would say that I miss my laundry room in the States, but I actually don't. Here, people usually only have a washer machine. They usually have it in their kitchen. I had a really small bedroom that we converted into a closet because homes generally don't have closets here. And since I was making a closet on the first floor, second floor for those Americans, I put a washer and dryer there too. Now, when I do laundry, I can pull clothes from the dryer and hang them right up. Best renovation decision by far. The worst renovation decision was not installing AC. I live in northern Spain. It's not supposed to get hot here. In Florida, I used my central AC all but 2 weeks of the year. It was so hot. It was so hot that I'd leave the house every morning and have to wait for my glasses to clear a fog. Somehow, I've managed to get used to the mild temperatures here in Asturias. So what was once considered boots and sweater weather in Florida is now shorts and t-shirt weather here. Now I'm hot anytime it's not winter. It is so weird. The good part of it is that I usually have a window cracked so I can get fresh air, which makes me even happier that I got those screens on my windows, which is also a con because we installed a forced air system to keep the humidity in our house away, and opening windows actually takes away the efficacy of the system. The reason for the forced air system is due to the high humidity in our area and the way that casonas hold on to that humidity. And as we all know, mold is no one's friend unless it's in blue cheese. I do wish I had an attached garage here. There is nothing more satisfying than coming home and driving straight into your garage and then going from the car to the kitchen. I have a barn instead. We considered converting the barn into a garage, but my car is too wide for the door that's there. It would have cost an arm and a leg to modify it because it's a stone barn. It'd be nice to be able to get in the car on a rainy day and not get wet. I still haven't figured out the dance with the umbrella. I know I sound like a brat, but if you looked up typical weather in Asturias, you would understand. In the Asturian language, there's a word dedicated to the special kind of rain that we get here. Imagine walking outside and the rain seemingly floats in the air. It's more than a mist. It's orbayu. It's fine, it's misty, it's a drizzle that's so light that it doesn't feel like rain, but it can soak you to the bone. En Asturias llueve mil, pero no llena un barril. In Asturias it rains 1,000, but it doesn't fill a barrel. The rain is precisely why I made my home so cozy. Now that I think about it, I don't miss that much about my house in the US, not even the fancy nugget ice machine that I used to live for. I bought it because I was tired of going to Chick-fil-A and Sonic to get a beverage so I could have their crunchy ice. Once I got the ice machine, I would fill 2 large thermoses with ice to chew on while I was at work all day. It was my work coping mechanism, and like many other coping devices, things didn't end well. The ice ended up making my teeth super sensitive, and I had to quit it cold turkey. I don't even miss the expansive kitchen counters that I used to have. They always felt like they were inviting me to fill up the empty spaces with appliances that I would never have time to use. When I truly think about it, when I think about what I miss from the US, I realize I miss when people didn't think the Second Amendment included high-capacity assault rifles. And this is coming from a girl who owned guns and used them since she was 4. I miss when I could have an actual conversation with someone with opposing views. This is coming from a girl who loved to go to Daytona Bike Week and hang out in biker bars in her 20s. I miss when being right-wing was taboo. I miss when the government fought to protect their democracy. I miss when the people would rise up against a government that they know is doing wrong. The first time I protested, I was in 4th grade. We did a sit-in. Our principal was to be fired and was being replaced with a nun. Our Catholic school was too secular in the eyes of the archdiocese. I remember going to school with a used soup can and dried beans inside. As we did every day, the students lined up in the schoolyard. We were in neat rows behind our teachers. After the morning Pledge of Allegiance and the morning prayers, all of the students sat on the ground. We sat on the ground and shook our soup cans. This went on until lunchtime, when we were all sent home. We couldn't bring our principal back. She had already moved on. She had been fighting this fight for a while. Even though she was gone, she helped the parents organize the sit-in. The new principal had a reputation for being a tyrant. She turned schools into places where children cried rather than thrived. She implemented corporal punishment for even the most minor things. She turned schools into places where children weren't able to develop their autonomy, or rather, they learned absolute obedience. While the school didn't return to what it had been, the people with power didn't get their way. A new principal was installed, and even though our trust had been broken, we continued on. The school wasn't the same, but those of us involved were better for it. I miss that. I miss the power of a people with a history of fighting for what's right, actually fighting. And it's easy for me to say that while I'm here tucked away in the Spanish countryside, but it doesn't make it any less true. Every day, every breaking story is like a little cut, and right now the US is bleeding out. The people have to choose if they're going to bandage it up or apply a tourniquet. In the pinned comment is a link to the Federal Register so you can review the list of executive orders for yourself. I just want you to remember what Steve Bannon said. All we have to do is flood the zone. Every day we hit them with 3 things. They'll bite one and we'll get all of our stuff done. Bang, bang, bang. These guys will never be able to recover. For everyone who's subscribed, thank you for joining me on this journey. I'm not a lady who can sit by and watch things happen, and I believe that my voice can be utilized for hope right now. With that, I've come to realize that some of you are here strictly for American and Spain content. Therefore, I will separate these topics and host 2 YouTube channels. In the pinned comment is a link to my new channel, Asturico. It's a play on words, Rich Asturias. There, I will highlight the joy and beauty of life in Asturias as an American. I hope you can join me on both channels, but I truly understand if you don't. If you're a part of the 90% who watch but aren't subscribed, thank you for watching. And subscribe. Okay. Bye.